These are the plaintiffs Michael and Charlie Curley. Michael says he hired the defendant to fix his ATV, paid him in full, and the guy did a horrible job. The ATV doesn't shift out of first gear. He asked the defendant to fix it again. He demanded more pay, and here they are. Bottom line, they paid for their property to be repaired. It wasn't, and they want their $900 back. This is the defendant, Dominic Lopinto. He says the plaintiffs have been harassing him to work on this ATV for free every time it breaks. And he's just not going to be doing that. This is a hobby for him. He has a full-time job, and he isn't going to be at the plaintiff's beck and call every time their machine breaks down, especially because they want him to work for free. Oh, them? No way. He's accused of shoddy workmanship.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Michael Curley and Charlie Curley, you are suing Dominic Lopinto for $900 that you want returned to you because, according to you, did faulty work on an ATV. Tell me what happened.
Okay, I bought Charlie ATV last year. He had it for the winter time. After that, we parked in the side yard.
Was this a used one or a new one?
It was a used one.
What year is it?
It's 2002.
Okay.
Anyways, we had it for the season. They just use him in the snow, him and his friends, in the parks, wherever, the schoolyards. So after the season was over, had it in the backyard. Following year, this January, he went to start it up. It wasn't really starting up properly, and it was leaking a little gas from, it's called the petcock. We changed the fuel on and off. At first, I had his girlfriend's father look at it, and he got it started with starter fluid, but it wasn't staying steady. So his mom had found out it wasn't working right. She happens to know Dominic and Kevin over there through playing beach volleyball.
And so everybody knows everybody from playing beach volleyball?
Well, they do. I know Kevin at the end there, the father. We worked together for about 20 years.
Oh, okay. All right, so go on.
So in the conversation between him and his mom, she had happened to talk to Dominic. Dominic says he owns some, he works on some, and that he could do the work. I said, fine. So Dominic picks it up, works on it about 2 weeks, brings it back, and it was about 10 p.m. at night when he brought it back. He took it off his truck. Charlie just started up, made a quick U-turn, and went right to the backyard, right up the grass into the backyard. He got off the bike. He came in. He went into the house. I said, goodbye to Dominic and his girlfriend.
How much did you pay Dominic for whatever work he did?
That particular time, $600.
And what was the work Dominic did?
Well, he gave me a list of parts and stuff they did, which I don't have.
Do you have a receipt for what it is you did for him
do.
the first time? May I see the receipt?
It's all parts list in the front and then labor and charges on the back.
Okay, so go on.
So I parked it there, and the next morning when I woke up, 7 o'clock, I opened up my kitchen window blinds, the bike's gone. And I had it there for a whole year, not a problem. It turns out, talking to people in the neighborhood, somebody had seen 3 kids outside their house. They rolled it out of my backyard, they drove it down, they put it down the block and started up down there. So a woman on the block had heard it, and because later on, when this came out, she said, yeah, I woke up and I seen 3 kids around it. I didn't think anything of it. And that was 3 o'clock in the morning. So he dropped off at 10 o'clock at night. 3 o'clock in the morning, the bike's missing. I got up at 7. I noticed at 7.
What did you want me to draw? What conclusion do you want me to draw from that?
I'm not concluding.
That he stole it?
No, that I never got to even drive it. That I didn't even know how it was running.
That's not. But are you saying that's his fault?
Well, we'll have a point.
Okay.
The point is, we never drove it other than making that quick little turn and right up to the side yard.
So you report it stolen to the police.
I reported stolen 2 days later.
It gets found 2 days later.
10 miles from my house.
10 miles.
10 miles in Farmingdale. Can you ask Dominic where he goes to school, by the way?
Why would I ask him that?
Because he goes to Farmingdale University.
No, I don't.
Well, that's why I was told that he goes to Farmingdale.
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm not accusing him of stealing.
Well, it sounds like you are, pal.
Well, it's just too many.
Can you ask him where he goes to school? It sure sounds like you are, but go on.
This is the information I was given.
Yeah, well, then you've been misinformed, but aside from that, it's kind of nutty. Go ahead, anyway.
Okay, well, just too many coincidences going on. It was in my yard for a whole year, never touched. 5 hours after he returns it, it's gone. And I never had a problem before. So anyway, so we get it back, and it's not working again. I know it was working, actually, but the light was busted. Somebody kicked the light off, it looked like, and I have pictures. They hot-wired it. They pulled the wires out and twisted them together to get it started. So I rented a trailer from U-Haul, got it from them, brought it back to the house, asked Dominic if he'd come by, told him the situation. Well, he knew it already.
Wait, why'd you call him?
What?
Why did you call him?
Because It was hot wired. They ripped the wires out, so I wanted him just to repair the wires.
Wait. Why do you call him to do another repair?
Because I didn't really put two and two together at the time, you know.
Okay, but I'm supposed
and
to.
I did trust him. He's saying, I know Kevin for
So
20
you
years.
call him and you tell him, I need some more work.
I said, they ripped the wires apart. Can you repair the wires? And this time, could you put in like a kill switch in there? Which he did. I paid him another $300 for that. So then Dominic was leaving, and he says, everything's good, but it's a little off, Mike. I go, what do you mean it's off? It's just not running 100%. It's a little off, but it should work its way out. I said, okay. Again, it came late at night. We just put it back inside the yard. This time I chained it up. I put locks, everything. They weren't going to get it this time.
How long later is it that you turn it on?
About a week. It started up fine. It started right up. The kill switch worked fine. The lights were there. Everything was working fine. But when he went to ride it, it had I have an audio clip and video of it. It sounded so bad. And Charlie told me when he was riding it, it kept like jerking every time he tried to get the second gear. It wasn't running right. He was scared to drive it anymore. He didn't want to damage it. I said, fine, bring it back. I'll call Dominic again. And then that's when I called up and never heard from him.
Okay, what's going on?
Okay. So I get there, I look at it. My quad that I had, the exact same one, had the same similar problems. Every month or so, it would go bad because of the way.
What kind of quad is this?
2003 Yamaha Raptor 660.
Okay.
The biggest problem quad Yamaha ever made. So
It's also one of the best.
Well, okay, go on.
it's the worst one ever made. So I get it, I'll get out and look at it, bring it back to my house, check it out. This isn't my job. I'm not.
So why are you doing it?
Because I have experience doing.
Yeah, but why are you doing it? Why don't you just say, hey, this
They
is
didn't want
beyond
to bring it to a
my-
shop.
What?
They didn't want to bring it to a shop. And
No, I know why they did it. It was cheap. I don't know why you put yourself in the middle of
So
this.
I have a lot of experience with this. I've raced. I've taken every single possible thing apart that you can name. And, I wanted to help him out. I wanted to be a nice guy and help him out and get
Well,
it
that's
running
a
for
nice
his son.
guy. You weren't helping him out. You were charging for it. So you need to know what you're doing if you're going to be charging for it.
I do know what I'm doing, 100%. I barely made any money on this. I didn't do it to make money. I did it to be nice. If you look at the list, I probably only made $100 off it, if anything. So I bring it back to him, ran 100%. I tested it out at my house. He brought it to his house. His son rode up and down the block for probably a good minute, couple laps up and down the block, brought it in the backyard.
Everybody's happy then.
Everybody was happy.
Then the thing gets stolen.
His wife, yes. His ex-wife
Did you
handed me.
steal it?
Of course not. I would never steal
Do
it.
you go to school in whatever city he claimed?
No. I went to school 6 years ago in Manhattan.
Where did you get that from?
His mom, my ex-wife.
I went to
known
school
better.
6 years ago in Manhattan. I don't go to Farmingdale College.
Okay.
So I bring it back. He puts it in the backyard. From what I was there the entire time till I left. They didn't put a lock on it. They did nothing. So I get a phone call the next morning. It was stolen and found within 12 hours.
Okay.
Not in Farmingdale College parking lot. I have the voicemail stating where it was found.
Where was it found?
I don't know exactly the voicemail, what it
Says
says.
Hicksville and Melville.
Hicksville and Melville.
I think there's an
Not
address as well.
Farmingdale.
Okay, go on.
So I said, again, I gotta deal with the quads. No problem. He on the voicemail says, can you come pick it up right now? Meanwhile, I work 40, 50 hours a week. I can't go get it right now. I'll come get it right after work. So I go there. I see that the ignition's cut. See, there's a few parts missing that I just put on the day before. The ignition's hot wired. The thing, was left for pretty much dead. They must have beat it up and it stopped working. The ignition was cut. A few hoses were missing. The headlight was kicked out. The bumper was all bent out of shape. And all kind of stuff. So I bring it back to my house again. I installed the kill switch like he asked me to. I went over the entire thing, fixed all the parts that were broken, welded the exhaust, did a whole bunch of other kind of things. Got it running at my house. It ran. I drove it up down the block.
Did it run poorly?
It didn't run as good as it did the first time because it was abused. It was beat on. Somebody beat on it. I told him, I said, the quad's not 100% like it used to. I said, obviously when they wrote it, they must have really beat on it. And for me to really tell you what's going on, it'd be a couple $1,000s. So, if you want to get it really checked out, bring it to a shop that their mechanics do this 24/7 and they're going to charge you thousands of dollars when I charge you $300 and got it running. I started it up in front of him, let it run for about 3-4 minutes.
Did anybody ride it around that night?
I drove it about 50 feet.
How about him? They didn't
He
drive
wasn't
it?
there. The son wasn't there.
Charlie wasn't
No. So I drive into the backyard. Everyone's happy. He tells me about all these kind of locks he's going to get for it, what he wants to do to make it secure. Chains it up to his jet ski. Puts a big lock from the quad to the jet ski. And that was it.
Okay, and how long after that repair did you test it?
About a week.
Okay, and what happened?
It's like I put into first gear, it runs almost close to normal, but right after that, it jerks back and forth.
Okay, and you have a video of how it's running now.
Right, it's a video.
Okay.
You can hear how it doesn't sound. I don't think you're familiar with quads, but anybody who
You don't know
knows,
what I'm familiar
Oh
with.
well, okay.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Good idea, bad idea to hire a friend.
Bad.
Why?
Because you'd feel bad firing them if they were a bad worker.
Fair enough, but you may know them better, right?
Yes, but then they might think that you need to pay them more or you owe them something.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't mix business with pleasure. Just simple.
Can I tell you something seriously? I don't care at all what you just said. I want to know about your dog. This dog is awesome. What kind of dog? Quickly.
He's a year and 10 months.
What's his name?
English Mastiff, Maximus.
Is he? Well, you're in 10 months, so he's full grown.
No, he's got another year to go.
So in other words, he's going to be bigger than me.
Yes.
Okay. How much does this dog weigh?
He's 220 right now. He'll probably be about 250.
Holy smokes! And he's gentle.
Oh yeah.
That's really good because he's all over me here.
Come here, Max.
Max. Hi, Max. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I could just pet this dog all day long. This dog is beautiful. Go inside the courtroom.
Well, I didn't want to come here. I didn't want to sue. I wanted them just to fix it properly. And I was told from Kevin.
Right, but here's the thing. What you have to understand is you have a contract with Mr. Lopinto. And the contract, the first time was to do some work which no one is questioning. So I don't know why you're suing for the first time, unless you think he stole it. And I don't know what you're thinking here.
I'm questioning because we never wrote it the first time.
I don't care if you didn't write. What difference does it make whether you wrote it and got the benefit of your? If the guy did the work, you owe him that money.
But I don't know. That's what my point is. I don't know.
Then that's
if it was
too bad for
working.
you because you paid him. You test drove it a little. You paid him. It wasn't really enough. What do you think? You're going to be able to tell him? I'm sorry for you that your ATV got stolen. That's ridiculous.
We never test drove it.
The second one, what was he contracted to do? Let's talk about that contract. That's $300 that he's contracted to replace the missing parts that the thieves took, fix the parts that the thieves broke,
Pretty much.
and install a kill switch.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.